Justice Minister Gjonaj said that compensation demands for cases with the European Court amount to 822 million euros, but the real cost can be calculated only after each court decision. President Ilir Meta met today with former Foreign Minister Tritan Shehu, who said the issue of maritime borders with Greece should be resolved by the International Court of Justice. Changes in the economic aid scheme were not welcomed by those who will no longer receive it, with protests erupting in some cities. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Friday the 16th of February 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Top story for this evening, Albania's issues at the European Court of Human Rights were one of the main concerns expressed by opposition MPs at a hearing session with Justice Minister Gjonaj. The minister did answer questions about the financial impact the country is facing, stating that until there is a decision reached by the court, the cost cannot be calculated. However, the fact remains that currently the amount accrued from all current issues equals 822 million euros. The costs will accrue for as long as we are in front of the European Court. We have no evaluation from the European Court. Every individual has the right to ask as much as he thinks necessary, but this does not mean that we can translate a response into the real costs of the court's decisions, said Gjonaj. The minister went on to speak about the progress of judicial reform, stating the ministry is holding meetings with interest groups to improve drafts. 2 months after the establishment of the High Council of the Prosecution Office, the SSACC will be established. On the issue of property, Gjonaj said that the agency has reviewed 10,000 files in the last 5 years, even though the property law has been suspended by the Constitutional Court. The law has been suspended and the agency has not made any decisions. 26,000 decisions for compensation from these 10,000 cases over the last 5 years are still needed, declared the minister. At the hearing session of the Integration Commission regarding the country's priorities to join the EU, Minister Gjonaj refused to discuss the case of Nezar Seiti. She reminded opposition MPs that the written responses she has provided them are confidential and must not be released for publication by the media. Regarding candidates for the HJC and HCPO, Gjonaj said that this is a responsibility assigned to the Assembly and that the Ministry of Justice cannot interfere. President Ilir Meta held a consultative meeting today with former Foreign Minister Tritan Shehu regarding the maritime border agreement between Albania and Greece. At the end of the meeting, Shehu promised that this issue will be resolved at the International Court of Justice. Shehu praised the 2009 agreement made by the Berisha government while calling for greater transparency regarding the agreement currently on the table with Greece. We believe that the most rational way to push forward is to bring the issue with Greece before the International Court of Justice. Both countries should address the court and the two countries accept the verdict as a final conclusion. I think this would be the best solution to this problem, which has been created by this government's opposition to the 2009 agreement, which is a good agreement, declared Shehu. In the last 2 days, the head of the Albanian state has met with his predecessors Bujar Nishani, Bamir Topi, Alfred Morsiu, Recep Medani and Sali Berisha. These meetings were held following a request by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to take full control of negotiations for a concrete agreement, which is expected to be signed in April. Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama and his Greek counterpart Alexis Tsipras have planned a meeting in order to review the agreement in great detail. Serbia celebrates their National Day today with the festivities in anniversary of 2 major events. Firstly, it marks Serbia's first uprising against the Ottoman Empire in 1804. It is also the anniversary of the creation of the Serbian Constitution, which occurred in 1835. In honour of this special day, the Serbian embassy in Tirana hosted a special reception with attendees including Albanian politicians and foreign diplomats, as well as prominent business and media personalities. Honorary consuls, such as the Honorary Consul of Mexico, Ulian Droci, were also present. During an interview with Aura News, the Serbian ambassador Miroljub Zaric praised the relations between Serbia and Albania, while saying that there is still work to be done. I'm glad that in recent years relations have been strengthened between the two countries. I'm optimistic about the future developments of our relationship because we have many common interests, especially integrating into the European Union as soon as possible. We have to look to the future, but also in the past. We had more cooperation than problems, said Zaric. As well as an accredited diplomat with 27 years in our country, Zaric preferred to continue the second part of the interview in Albanian. Translating his comments into English, Miroljub Zaric said, "We are here today for Serbia's National Day and we will talk about the relations between Albania and Serbia. Every family has problems, even among the Serbian and Albanian people, but I'm sure we'll handle them." The Serbian ambassador praised leaders in Serbia and Albania, saying that they are willing and focused to achieve solutions and establish a strategic partnership. Turkey has responded to opponents and critics of their increased presence in Albania via the ambassador to Tirana, saying they seek to make investments in strategic sectors. The debate opened up after the interest declared by 3 companies to build Vlora's airport. From Shkodra, Ambassador Murat Ahmet said Turkish investments and support are indicative of brotherhood between the 2 countries and not attempts at distorting history. They are superficial interpretations. Our purpose is to get the best from our past history with Albania and, in cooperation with the Albanian state, to build projects that serve development and the future. We have no other purpose, declared Ambassador Ahmet. The ambassador was in Shkodra together with the delegation from the Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency and Deputy Prime Minister Senida Mesi to see the Plumbi Mosque, where after 1 month, work will begin for restoring its identity. The mosque was built in 1773. It holds importance to the history of democratic Albania, as on 16th of November 1990, the first prayer was conducted here following the restoration of freedom of faith after the dark communist era. The new scheme has caused protests and political reactions. January marked the first month of the implementation of the new scheme of economic aid based on a scaling system which assesses the online applications. But those excluded have begun protesting, and this has triggered strong political reactions. Many of them protested at the doors of the institutions, such as in Leja and Kukas, seeking answers to why they have been excluded. Faced with this situation, Deputy Minister of Health and Social Protection gave a special press conference saying that the scheme eradicates the abusers. She said the scheme is transparent and gives full economic assistance to those who need it. The new scheme leaves out the abusers, announced Deputy Minister Kospiri. Those who find they do not meet the government's requirements should apply for municipal schemes, suggested Kospiri. However, according to the opposition, the government is not delivering a transparent process for the removal of economic aid and that the purpose of the new scheme is only to win the election. The ministry has not yet issued any official figures of those now excluded, though the Democratic Party speaks of over 20,000 individuals across the country. On behalf of the Association of the Democratic Municipalities, its chair, Voltana Ademi, requested a suspension of the new scheme. Shkodra, Leja and Kukas result as the 3 municipalities with the highest number of people excluded from the new scheme of economic aid. That's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.